9 months ago, doctors warned he might not last the night. Today, he's one card away from $8.5 million. That whiplash timeline belongs to Greg Merson, a skinny kid from Laurel, Maryland who overdosed on cocaine, bargained with the ceiling for one more breath, and then decided to turn every craving into pure, surgical focus at the poker table. Greg discovers online poker at 16, a secret world where math-minded teenagers can win grown-up money without showing ID. By senior year, he's four-tabling 50-cent blinds, earning more per week than his teachers. The easy rush feels intoxicating. So, when a dorm room joint appears his freshman year at the University of Maryland, chasing a stronger high feels natural. Within months, marijuana escalates to daily cocaine. His weight plummets, his grades vanish. Fearing an overdose, Greg checks himself into rehab on August 8, 2007. He leaves sober, determined, and, critically, still convinced poker is his one legitimate talent. But addiction isn't a movie villain that dies in Act 1. In 2010, flush with online winnings, Greg relapses. Cocaine bills pile up faster than deposit bonuses, and the kid who could outcalculate anyone now can't outrun himself. What Greg cannot know is that the very obsession dragging him under will soon become the disciplined engine that lifts him higher than he ever dreamed. Greg's second chance begins at 6 a.m. on December 10, 2011. No flashing lights, no rehab counselors, just empty streets, cold air, and the desperate rhythm of sneakers on pavement. Every exhale feels like poison leaving his lungs. He promises himself three things: no cocaine, one meeting a day, and more hands of poker than anyone else on the planet. He keeps count on a yellow legal pad. Day 1, 0 milligrams, 1 meeting, 4,812 online hands. Day 14, 0 milligrams, 14 meetings, 68,203 hands. The numbers climb like a fever, only this time the obsession heals instead of harms. Greg's friends worry the grind is just addiction in disguise. He tells them it absolutely is, and that's the point. Repetition that once wired him to crave chemicals now wires him to memorize betting patterns, refine ranges, and fold when ego screams call. He adds yoga at sunrise to quiet tremors, black coffee at midnight to outlast fatigue, and AA chips on his desk to remind him why. The same brain that chased nosebleed highs is now a laser aimed at one date: July 1st, 2012, Day 1 of the World Series of Poker. The Rio Convention Center smells like fried food and possibility. Greg registers for the $10,000 six-handed no-limit hold'em event, an arena built for specialists who thrive in chaos. 474 players enter, 473 bust. On the final hand, Greg flats a 3-bet with pocket fives, flops a set, and value bets 3 streets so cold-blooded that veteran pros mutter, "Kid's got ice in his veins." Payout: $1.136 million and a gold bracelet that clinks like a sobriety chip when he flicks it. But the money isn't even the headline. For the first time since childhood, Greg hears genuine applause that has nothing to do with beating a drug test. Reporters ask about strategy. He talks about recovery. The bracelet interview becomes a live-streamed confession. If you're watching this in a dark place, know you can put that energy somewhere better. Look at me. The win catapults him into the main event 6 weeks later, but the spotlight is heavy. Headlines crown him recovery's poster boy, and every camera zoom feels like a magnifying glass over old scars. In quiet corners of the Rio hallway, dealers still whisper offers for anything you want at any hour. Greg walks past with his eyes on the carpet, mouthing his sobriety date like a prayer. He adopts a monk-like routine: hotel room ice bath, oatmeal, headphones blaring ambient drones, 12 straight hours of play, meeting at midnight. He refuses casino comps, so he can't charge room service wine by mistake. Each bagged chip stack is counted twice. First for tournament staff, second for personal accountability. Day after day, the field shrinks. Merson's stack rises, falls, and rises again. He wins a flip with pocket queens, folds kings face up on a terrifying river, then bluffs a board of all hearts holding nothing but 2 black tens. He is no longer fighting opponents. He is sparring with temptation itself, one decision at a time. By late July, only 9 players remain. The famed November 9. ESPN promos show his rehab photo next to the chip counts. Can the comeback kid finish the job? Greg boards a plane home with an overnight bag and a suitcase of self-doubt. He spends the 3-month break exactly as he spent. Day 1. Meetings, yoga, grind, repeat. When he lands back in Vegas for the final table, the city looks different. Less neon mirage, more battleground. Friends tape his yellow legal pad to the hotel mirror. Last line still blank. Greg still has one craving left to satisfy, and only one place it belongs. Under the brightest lights in poker. The clock reads 4:42 p.m., October 30th, 2012. 9 players take their seats beneath stadium lights, so bright the felt looks radioactive. Greg Merson arrives last, Orioles jersey hanging loose on his newly healthy frame, an AA chip tucked inside his pocket like a secret shield. After the ceremonial shuffle up and deal, he slips a thumb over the coin's ridges. One more heartbeat, one more hand. The marathon begins. 20-minute levels stretch into hour-long trenches once breaks are subtracted, and the air grows heavy with halogen heat and unmoving audience breath. Greg wins early pots with patience. Ace and Jack flopping top pair, pocket fours turned into a rivered set. Yet every victory is followed by a whispered, easy, breathe. Temptation is no longer a drug dealer. It's the hunger to celebrate too soon. Mid-session, he faces a razor-edge decision. Pocket tens against chip leader Jesse Sylvia's re-raise. The board runs queen, 9, 4, 7 with 2 spades. Danger everywhere. Greg tanks almost 3 full minutes, mouth closed, pulse flicking at his temple. Then he folds, stacks his chips with surgeon calm, and exhales the chemical rush he once chased in bathroom stalls. Commentators call it disciplined, but he knows it is recovery in its purest form, choosing long-term life over short-term relief. The hours bleed into 3:20 a.m. 5 opponents gone. Lights dim for a dinner break. Greg uses to meditate on a service hall floor. He recites the Serenity Prayer, sips lukewarm miso soup, and returns to the felt, shoulders squared as if carrying every person watching who still thinks sobriety is impossible. Finally, heads-up play. He and Sylvia trade blinds like boxers swapping jabs, neither landing the knockout. On hand number 399, Greg looks down at King and Queen of Diamonds, a hand elegant yet vulnerable, much like the life he's rebuilding. Sylvia 3-bets with Queen and Jack of Spades. Greg shoves all in, 136 big blinds crashing into the middle. The dealer fans 5 blanks, no pair, no flush, just king high standing tall. It is 5:44 a.m. when tournament director Jack Effel pushes forward the World Series of Poker main event bracelet, and the audio engineer nearly misses Greg's first words because they are a sob. 326 days clean. Applause swells, but Greg's focus remains locked on the coin in his palm. $8.53 million. Player of the Year honors and headlines worldwide cannot rival the power of that tiny disc of metal. Proof that the greatest pot he ever won was the one he never snorted away. And that is how a one-time cocaine addict from Laurel, Maryland stared down 6,598 opponents and rewrote his cravings into cards, from cocaine to champion. Greg Merson's $8.53 million poker miracle. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible poker underdog stories.